What's up, PhinsTalk family? What's up, Dolphin Nation? What's up, NFL fans? Do you think the new regime of the Dolphins draft a secondary player with the number 11 overall pick? I'm going to go ahead and read to you an article that is planting that thought into my mind, and that's why I'm doing this video. The title of the article, What Might the Dolphins' New Regime Do in the Secondary This Offseason? This again was written by David Furones of the Sun Sentinel. New Miami Dolphins coach Jeff Hafley's background is on the defensive side of the ball, but more specifically in the secondary. So as the Dolphins under Hafley and new general manager John Eric Sullivan are expected to build a foundation around physical play in the trenches, they are also likely to operate with an emphasis on strong defensive backs. For a regime that will need to construct its roster through the draft, to start off, Sullivan could foreseeably invest his first draft pick in one of this year's best cornerbacks or safety prospects. Miami has ample youth on both sides of the ball, as drafted by former GM Chris Greer at the end of his tenure. The team's first and second round picks this past two seasons came in the trenches: defensive tackle Kenneth Grant and left guard Jonas Savaianai in 2025, and edge defender Chop Robinson and left tackle Patrick Paul in 2024. Additionally, the Dolphins picked up a few defensive tackles in Jordan Phillips and Zeke Biggers later in last year's draft. When Miami's first on the clock in late April with the number 11th pick, a number of quality defensive back prospects figured to go in that range, namely cornerback Mansour Delane from LSU and Jermod McCoy from Tennessee, and safety Caleb Downs of Ohio State. The Green Bay Packers, while Sullivan was in their front office, drafted defensive back first in 5 of 8 drafts from 2014 to 2021, twice doubling down on DBs with the first 2 selections. But before the Dolphins seek solutions through the draft, they will be figuring out what to do with their own free agents, as well as outside free agents, and developing young players already under contract. The Dolphins' top internal free agent at cornerback is Rasul Douglas. After signing within 2 weeks of the open of the 2025 regular season, Douglas allowed a passer rating against of 73.0, a very good number in 15 games and 13 starts, while giving up 5.6 yards per target, deflecting 13 passes and 2 interceptions. Douglas said at season's end he enjoyed the season with the Dolphins, especially with the coaching staff letting him play his game. Now, last season's defensive coordinator Anthony Weaver and cornerbacks coach Matthew Arroyo are not part of the new staff, but under Hafley, he brings coaches in the secondary with previous ties to Douglas. New cornerbacks coach Jamil Adi was with him in 2024 in Buffalo, and defensive back coach Ryan Downward had him in Green Bay before that. Douglas also appreciated bonds made in Miami's locker room. I got really close with some of the guys that work hard, guys that are always just like me, stay in the building like to work, he said. Fellow cornerback Jack Jones and safety Ifatu Malufalo and Ashton Davis also told the South Florida Sun Sentinel ahead of the Dolphins season finale they would like to return. I would love to be here. I really enjoyed my time down here, Davis said. Maybe we can make that happen. I would love to make that happen. Malufalo: yeah, definitely. I like it here. And Jones: I love to play for Miami. For Jones, 2025 with the Dolphins marked growth for the player once deemed to have attitude and off-field issues. This year taught me a lot. I learned a lot. I grew a lot, and I don't take this year for granted, Jones told the Sun Sentinel before season's end. I think this was a stepping stone year where I'm crossing over into who I want to become and leaving who I was behind. So I appreciate everybody, part of the Miami Dolphins organization, that helped me get to this point in my life. In what ways has he grown? I stay off the field and just my attitude, not letting everything get to me. It's more so personal, Jones said. Don't let things weigh too much on me. Control what I can control and never get too high or get too low. What stood out to Davis in Miami after his first 5 seasons with the New York Jets? Everybody bought in. Everyone's pretty close, he said. And when you're playing for your brother and not another guy on the field, you're going to give everything you have. However, it's unlikely all of them will return. I'm going to miss playing with some guys, but that's the nature of the NFL, Malupalo said. All the expiring contracts in the secondary, although also afford Sullivan and Halfley an opportunity to bring their own players at those positions. After Greer traded for safety Minka Fitzpatrick at the last season, Sullivan has him under contract and will decide whether to keep him on the roster, find a trade for draft capital, salary cap savings, or release him. The Dolphins would save $5.85 million toward the cap if they cut him, or $15.6 million if they do with a post June 1st designation. Beyond the veteran free agents, which also include nickel corner Kader Kohou. After his preseason ACL tear, the Dolphins return rising second-year cornerback Jason Marshall and safety Dante Trader Jr. Miami also has cornerback Storm Duck and Juju Brents coming off season-ending injuries last season. Guys, it wouldn't surprise me that the new regime drafts cornerbacks. First of all, because of their history in Green Bay and drafting cornerbacks first for 8 straight years. Second of all, because this cornerback room is very young and we have a lot of aspiring contracts. I would expect them to also draft a quarterback, but not in the early rounds. So it wouldn't surprise me at all if they draft a safety or a cornerback with the first and second picks. Leave me your thoughts down below and let me know what you think. Will John Eric Sullivan, a cornerback or safety with his first 2 picks? Let me know what you think. And like always, I appreciate your support. Stay positive, stay on your grind, and go Dolphins.